Well, my name is Bruce Allen. This is a presentation for Hear Clear Australia on hearing loss. The topics covered today will be types of hearing loss and the hearing tests and the audiogram. There are other presentations that we will be supplying as well on hearing aids. Please look at the website. Firstly, who is Hear Clear Australia? Basically, we're local service. We're a local service. We have clinics both at Dural, Bella Vista and Penrith. We're independently family owned, and that's important because you will often find there are tied clinics to certain manufacturers. We're not. We have high quality, affordable hearing aids. We focus on friendly caring service, and we're Commonwealth Government accredited. In other words, we can actually see clients free under the pension and veteran scheme. Types of hearing loss. Hearing loss can be caused by problems in the outer ear, the middle, and the inner ear. With age and noise exposure, most problems occur in the inner ear. This is the outer ear, and the obvious sort of problem you can actually have is wax. Very simple. There can be a plumbing issue in this area here. Wax is exuded by this area. It can build up, and obviously you get a physical blockage of the sound going down the ear canal to the eardrum. So obviously it is stopped or muffled by wax. There are other sort of problems you can actually have in the outer ear, but that's certainly the most common. Next stage is the middle ear. So you can see the outer ear is here. Behind the eardrum itself is the middle ear system. This little area here is an air-filled cavity. It is not the organ of balance, by the way, as some clinicians will tell you, but it is an air-filled cavity. It actually has a little tube that leads down to the back of the throat near the nose called the eustachian tube. You can see the three little bones here that allow sound to pass from the eardrum through these three little bones and into the inner ear. So the inner ear is here. The type of loss you can get here is you can get a hole in the eardrum that stops the eardrum vibrating efficiently. You can actually have a cold, whereby you get some of the air that is in this cavity is reduced, and you get a reduction in the eardrum vibration, thus that it cannot get the sound passed through to the inner ear. Most of the problems of the outer ear and the middle ear system can be remediated or operated on. So it's possible to actually get, I wouldn't call it a simple solution, but a solution that is not a hearing aid to these areas here. The problem is the inner ear. Inner ear is the actual organ of balance. It's also the organ of hearing. So the cochlea is the organ of hearing. You'll notice here that this is the nerve leading up to the brain. This area here does not hear. It is purely a stimulus area. So sound comes through the middle ear system and goes into the inner ear. It is sensed. The inner ear will tell whether it's a soft sound, a loud sound, a low-toned or low-pitched sound, or a high-pitched sound, and that will be encoded to the brain, where the brain will actually listen. So the basic idea, the brain actually is the cognitive organ, or is the organ that will respond and identify the sound, say as a speech sound. This again is the area that we actually have most problems with in age and with noise exposure. The left, you can actually see intact nerve cells which are in the inner ear. These are called hair cells, and this is a very healthy set of hair cells, and they will encode the tone, the frequency, the loudness, etc. of the sound. This is a healthy system here. This, unfortunately, this side here on the right-hand side is inner ear damage. The nerves, the very fine features inside the inner ear are now, basically destroyed. There are some sense organs still intact, but most of the sense organs are actually dead. So that's where you will actually get hearing loss. This is the audiogram, and this is the primary measure of hearing and indeed hearing loss that a clinician uses to measure your hearing. Just to explain the graph, this is what's called a sloping hearing loss. And now I'll try and interpret that for you. You can imagine this line here is the smallest sound that this person can respond to. It's how sensitive their hearing is. In essence, these are the low frequency sounds. These are low pitch sounds, and these are the higher frequency sounds. These are discrete sounds that we use to measure using an audiometer with the headphones. So again, low pitch sounds and high pitch sounds. Down this scale is the loudness scale. So 0, believe it or not, is an actual sound. This is the decibel scale. So as you go further down, the sound gets louder and louder and louder until you're at the stage of a jet engine. This is rustling leaves in a soft breeze. So obviously this is a softer area. This type of sloping loss, and this is a typical age loss with possible past noise exposure, is the client actually still hears very well in the lower frequency sounds. So again, the low pitched or low tone sounds, the hearing is close to the normal range. As you increase in pitch, however, we're having to turn our audiometer or our machine further and further up. The client is still not hearing the tone at this point. So they're still not hearing the higher frequency sound until we reach there. For somebody with normal hearing, they'd say, oh, that's a very distinct and loud sound. This is right on the verge of the client hearing it. So in essence, this client with the sloping high frequency hearing loss is missing out all these speech sounds. So just to go back, they're actually hearing quite a lot of the vowel sounds, sounds like A, E, I, O, and U. They can hear N, M, that sort of thing. So that is within their hearing capability. However, their ability to hear and discern the higher frequency sounds, the difference between a P or a T, the difference between an F, S or SH, these sorts of sounds, they're basically muffled. The client actually, they will detect that there's a sound within the word, but they have to listen really hard to actually discern the sound and to work it out. Particularly when there's background noise, they're done for. They actually can't sort of understand. You'll find that the client just sits back and there's a little bit of noise and they give up. They feel that the other person, the speaker is mumbling or the TV is probably too loud. They can still hear the lows, but it's very unclear. Everything is unclear. And really it's this discernment or discrimination of the high pitch sounds that's bothering them. Okay. Impact of this type of hearing loss, by the way, there are a lot worse types of hearing loss than this, but that's a real handicap, that sloping loss. But the impact of this hearing loss and indeed others, they're not aware of the hearing problem. They still hear some, environmental sounds like a car coming down the road quite well. They can't hear their grandchildren. They're just squeaky little voices that they can't pick up. It's hard work for them to make sense of conversations. It's tiring. You give up socially. You just go, had enough. Common complaint, as I've mentioned before, it's other people's problems. People mumble and the TV is not clear. They often withdraw from social occasions. So that's basically what that sloping loss is about. I repeat, there are a lot worse hearing losses than that. What can we do for you, or what can we do for the client with hearing loss? Obviously, hearing aids can return those high frequency sounds, and then we actually carry other devices for the phone, for hearing the telephone conversation and hearing TV. So, Hear Clear Australia, we are more than just hearing aids. We talk to you. We listen and we reflect on what you need, and we try and help you. We want you to hear what you love, basically. And that can be anything from birdsong to grandchildren to business meetings, etc. It's up to you. Basically, you get more out of your life with better hearing, because, said honest, you actually have to concentrate a lot more with hearing loss to get around socially. We're here to help you. You can find more tips on our website. You've obviously found it already, but it's there. That's the phone number, 9651 7379. Our clinics are based at Dural, Bella Vista and Penrith. And I thank you